What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Should have liked and sub, and let's get into this. I know the saying is you like to see good things happen to good people, but conversely, I also like to see insufferable see you next Tuesdays that constantly accuse us of the very things that they're guilty of. I like to see them schooled and put in their place. And that's what we have happen right here. So enter Thomas Mahler, CEO of No Rest for the Wicked. And I know this happens quite a bit, but not the actual repercussions of it. Of course, Alyssa Mercunte, senior editor for Kotaku, had to open her big fat mouth again, talk about things she didn't know about just because she's a reactionary, the things she accuses us of. And she got put in her place by her betters, which is a lot of people. But so this all started when this person here claimed to work on Ori and the Will of the Wisps. This is Ingenuine. Actually, that's funny. Ingenuous is more like it. But she wrote back in June, "Hi, folks. I'm Ray. I work in the gaming industry in UX, R&D, game production. I worked on various software and hardware for Xbox, exclamation point. I now work as an independent media producer and had the privilege of working on the Dota International 2023 and other gaming projects." And you can see she puts Ori or Ori. I've heard it both ways. And that's when we get Thomas Mahler, rather, not that Mahler, but the other Mahler. You can see here, "I'm the director behind both Ori games, and I don't know who you are or how you were affiliated with Ori." Basically calling her out, like, "Why are you going around telling people you worked on a game when I'm the director and I have no idea who you are?" And so she goes, "I worked with Xbox user research. I was the URA for global publishing during 2018, 2020. Nice to meet you." That could explain it. And he gives her the thumb up, which we found out would probably be a microaggression according to the latest generation. But he says, "I didn't want to cause you any trouble. I just saw you posting that you worked on Ori, and I had no idea who you are. Since you're calling people names online, I thought it was important to inform people that you never actually worked for Moon Studios and that you didn't ever directly engage with anyone at Moon. Always be nice to people, Ray, even though you disagree with." And I'm sure that would be them thinking that he's speaking down to them or condescending. And that's, of course, when Miss OnlyFans sex worker herself and senior editor for Kotaku comes in, Alyssa Mercunte, and says, "You're a dickhead." And then, of course, Thomas Mahler just says, "I don't know who you are." It gives a Thanos of like, "I don't even know who you are." And then she links to an attack article that she made on Mahler here from a previous Kotaku article, because of course that's all they have are attack articles. God knows they don't have any other site traffic, certainly not for their gaming guides. And that, of course, is where Thomas begins to school her in an epic fashion. I think, well, let's just enjoy. So here he says, "Hey, Alyssa. You're apparently a journalist from I love the apparently, because yeah, apparently she is, but we all know she's not. You're apparently a journalist from Kotaku, so I'm guessing you haven't worked in the actual game development yet. Let me try to mansplain, but I'm here for it. Let me try to explain the thing you posted about, which I'm guessing was from that hit piece from a few years back. Yes, I'm guilty of what's stated in that image, and that's okay, because this is the normal creative process. We brought lots of veterans into Moon because generally great people want to get the opportunity to work on great projects. And that's our goal at Moon. Imagine having great people work on great projects. Meritocracy, you'll say. We always set out to create the kind of games we'd love to play with ourselves, giggity, that fill some hole in the market because for some reason these holes haven't been filled yet. Also giggity. And so we're incredibly passionate about what we do. With great talent comes a lot of enthusiasm and passion, which absolutely leads to arguments because ultimately everyone is working hard on getting their vision into the game. But also, everyone at Moon understands that we're working together as a team. So the point of these arguments is then to try to convince each other why this or that solution would be the best thing for the game we're making. And the best solution ought to win. Yeah, everyone wants their what they bring to the table, their gameplay loop, their little quality of life improvement, their whatever. And you have to either fight hard or let go, but ultimately you have to realize it has to be a cohesive entire group development towards a common goal. It can't just be no, we're going to have trans breast surgery, zipper tit scars. We have to have it at the cost of all else. You got to let you gotta let some things go. Dragon Age. Of course, this is a different game, and you get the idea, right? Most of the time, the beauty behind these arguments is that everybody gets a chance to contribute, and more often than not, the actual solution will be one that ultimately everybody contributed to, because we're dealing with very complex issues all the time, and complex problems often also need complex solutions. It is often a chaotic process, but it's controlled chaos. That's what a game director does, or any director, really. Chef in the kitchen, controlled chaos. And yes, absolutely. Every now and then I have to put my foot down and set the direction, because I'm the game director, and ultimately it's my. She's supposed to be the senior editor. You think she would understand this? It's ultimately my responsibility to ensure that everyone knows where things are heading and that the decisions get made. And yes, it has also happened that I agreed to a certain decision, play tested some more, and change the direction after. Again, to me, this is a normal part of the process, since things get clearer and clearer. The more stuff gets implemented, the more way we play test. To me, all this is just how creative work happens. It can be painful, but my job, like any good director, is to understand what's going on and make sure that the right decisions get made, even if some work might get rendered useless in the process. So here, even Miyamoto is guilty of that. And he just goes on to say something similar to that, that some people a few years back, we hired some folks that didn't really fit our culture, so we had to part ways with them. And then this article happened. Wasn't a great feeling to see some ex-Moon folks talk badly behind our back, but ultimately it just made it clear that those folks shouldn't have worked at Moon in the first place, and I hope they're happier now wherever they landed. I don't know why you're out here cursing out game developers and what your whole deal is, but I hope that gave you some insight into the creative process and its messiness and beauty. I hope you have a nice day. Yours, Dickhead. And just so you understand, Mr. Mahler, sir, if you want to understand why she's cursing out game developers and what her deal is she has no creativity whatsoever. She's a sex worker on OnlyFans, and the way she also pays rent is she moonlights as a journalist, apparently at Kotaku. Really, she just makes thinly veiled, as you've seen, attack articles against people like Smash JT or Hypnotic or other people in this sphere. Doesn't really cover any gaming news, certainly isn't a gamer herself. Basically just goes around trying to allegedly look for more sex work or whatever the fuck she does. I don't know. It's certainly nothing to do with actual video game development. So allegedly, in my opinion, yeah, it's pretty sad. So thank you for schooling her. Anyone else find this hilarious? I did. Let me know what you think. Either way, make sure to like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're gonna do that, thank you. And allegedly.
Well, bye.